Good evening, welcome to the STEM Shed. Today I'm going to be repeating the experiment I did before with strawberry DNA extraction and how it relates to the COVID virus and how you should be washing your hands, and also not just getting them wet by throwing soap and then immediately rinsing the soap off. No, I mean by getting soap on your hands, rubbing your hands together, making sure you get it all out, and how important it is to do that. So I plan to demonstrate this by taking a pre-mashed one here that I did. These were roughly equal the same size, and I want to dump some of this solution I already made of dish soap, water, and eventually I'll throw some salt in here, and I'm going to dump it in. I want to dump it through a filter and show that even though that basically just dumping in, dumping out, I'm going to get less DNA out of this sample than I would out of this sample, where I'm going to mush it up with the soap so we can look at it there. So the things you need for this, again, there's a billion things online for it, so I'm not going to go in great detail about what you need, but essentially you need water, 90 milliliters is what I've seen. You need some dish soap. I have Dawn detergent right here. It looks like what they use on ducks when there's an oil spill. It has the main ingredient, the sodium lauryl ether sulfate. They'll sometimes call it sodium lauryl sulfate, same thing. And you need the salt. And you also need alcohol. And generally when you use this, you use isopropanol, but unfortunately due to the COVID epidemic, it's gone. I can't get it. It's out. However, what I can use is ethanol. Alright, so ethanol is what they call drinking alcohol. You call it drinking alcohol is because your bourbons, for example, are made out of this. Now this right here is 62.7% alcohol. It could probably work for this experiment, but this is also expensive bourbon, so I'm not using this for this experiment. What I am using though is this right here. It's a grain alcohol. It's 95% ethanol. Alright, yes, it's called drinking alcohol. I would not recommend drinking this stuff. Again, if you follow me long enough, you knew I was a high school dropout. I made a lot of bad decisions, and I had lots of experience with this right here. Or not this brand, but we had Golden Grain. Now you use Everclear, and this one's called Diesel Grain Neutral Spirits, 190 proof. And I chilled it in the freezer, and I'm keeping it in this Yeti to keep it nice and cold for the experiment. So what I'm going to do is first start off with getting the solution put in here. So let's see. I'm gonna probably start with, this one here, and I'm going to pour this in. So this is, oh, let me add the salt, sorry. So you need about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Well, you know, I did an experiment before and didn't use the salt, so I think there's another purpose to it. I'm just going to stir around for a second, mix. Alright, so I got the salt in there. I'm going to pour it in. As you see, this was a whole strawberry. I'm going to get as much air out as possible. Alright, so you can see here's a strawberry, and I want to start mushing it. And you mush it whichever way you want. So mush, and the reason I'm doing this is because I'm doing this first is I want this stuff to work. Now this is of course exaggerated. You're not going to probably have 2 minutes of hand washing your soap, but I believe the World Health Organization, CDC, and scientists in general that deal with this stuff recommend 20 seconds. So I'm mushing it up as much as I can. Alright, so you gotta squeeze, and hopefully not bust your bag. You can see it's probably turned a little purple right here. And squeeze. Alright. So now that I have that done, I'm just gonna kind of I think it's mostly squeeze, and I don't see many huge giant parts. And you just kind of flatten out a little bit more. Alright, that seems to be pretty good. I'm just going to let it sit in this bag right here. Alright, so I'm going to take this solution right here, which is, I got to add my salt. Alright. I'm going to stir it around. Alright, while I let that dissolve, I'm going to clean this cup out real quick with some water. So while I do that, I let that sit. I'm going to eventually put that one in that one. This one in here. Alright. Actually, I want to put this in here. I'm going to do a switcheroo. Alright, so as I do this, you're going to see I have this one that I already pre-mushed. So some of the DNA's out. It's been mechanically broken down, but now I'm going to do a chemical breakdown. Alright. Swish, swish, swish. Alright, now we're going to go into here. Let's see what happens. Alright. Whoop. Alright. So I got some in there. I'm going to get this out of my way. And I'm going to take a screwdriver here. You can use a spoon. You don't have to use a screwdriver. And just try to mush everything I can through. That's kind of your goal, is mush, mush, mush. Alright. So again, you saw that one was very, very short. So, alright. That seems like I got most of it out. We'll get this out of the way. Alright. So I have this. And I have this beaker here. I'm sorry, Erlenmeyer flask. I'm going to pour this in here. You got to commit when you pour. You can see some of the stuff made through. I'm not going to take that soap in there. It'll just make it harder to see. There should be enough in there. Alright, so as I let this one work its way a little bit, I'm going to go over a couple things. So I have not put any alcohol in here yet. So this stuff is just in solution, hanging out. Alright, so I drew this here. And what's going on with the sodium lauryl sulfate is that if you remember from our previous video, is that I drew here the sodium lauryl sulfate. Alright, so you can see you have kind of a, I'm going to call it cationic-ish, where this nitrogen group is. And then here is a true cation. I'm going to call this anionic-ish, and then same with this one. And then you have these long polar tails, alright? So I have this one here circled in a purplish looking color. And again, this is the sodium lauryl ether sulfate. Alright, going down to this one right here. This is a phospholipid. Phos comes from Greek for light. Lipid comes from Greek for fat. Light fat. Alright. So again, here's the general structure of it. Got this nitrogen group here. It's kind of cationic. You got this phosphate group, a little bit anionic. Does it look kind of like that sulfur right there a little bit? Yeah, just a little bit. And then you have this right here. And whoa, look at this. This is a long polar tail. Now this right here is what the COVID virus is made up of. This is this envelope, as we discussed in previous videos. Envelope. If this thing dissolves this thing, that can allow the RNA to work its way out. Once the RNA is out, it cannot harm you. So if you're using soap and wash your hands, it's gone. It can't harm you. Alright, so that's been a decent amount of time. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pour this in here. Alright, get this out of the way. I'm going to get my trusty screwdriver, slam as much as I can through. Alright, let's get this off. Alright. So again, same deal. Alright. So we have these here. So I'm going to pause this for a second. That way I can let this all work itself, and then I'll come back to the video. Alright, so the next stage I'm going to be going into here is I'm taking this golden or neutral spirit right here, 95% ethanol. I had to get from a liquor store because everyone got their rubbing alcohol. I'm going to pour into this shot glass that I got from my alma mater, University of Illinois. So you'll be putting in 1 tablespoon, though I'm not going to say it necessarily matters. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon into this one. In fact, I'll start over here. 1. Alright, and then I'm going to do this one right here. So you might notice a little bit of a layer starts forming in this right here. You can kind of see it right there. I'm going to switch it a little bit just to make sure it's all working together. And I'm going to do that one right here. As you can see, it actually knocks some of the foam down. I'm going to slurry it here and let it work. Excuse me. Alright, so what I got here is I got alcohol here. I set the levels to equal here. And what you're seeing at the top right there, it looks like foam. This right here, that is not foam. That is strawberry DNA. Here's the strawberry DNA from the short wash right there. You might notice a major difference. And a good way to... So if you look at this, I'm going to put this little hook in here. There it is. That's the strawberry which side am I on? This. That's the strawberry DNA. Alright, so you got some there, but look at this one here. That is way more, way more. So time makes a huge difference here. So that is strawberry DNA right there. That's all it is. So even if you look here through the top, you might notice. So that's the one that was short wash. That is the long wash. Thank you.